What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Styles of A Momo Chanel. Today I have the pleasure of being here with Brian, also known as Prolifik. Thank you so much for being here today. This is Brian Hickman II, also known as Prolifik, his art alias. He graduated from Shippensburg University. He went to school for art in 2012, and right now he's the sole proprietor of Prolifik ASF Artwork and Freelance Designs, which is what we are here to talk about. So Prolifik, let us know, what is it all about?
Basically the definition of the word prolific is to be fruitful and to produce many offspring. And in a sense of art, I try to be prolific in everything I do. That's one thing that I strive to be, so it's like something that I'm inspired to take hold of. But I named myself Prolifik just to give all of my supporters an idea of the type of artist that I am.
I like that. So how did it all start? How did you start your company?
It was real practical. Years ago when Facebook was starting to be real popular, I just put that as my middle name alias on Facebook, and people started addressing me as Prolifik in person. It wasn't anything special or anything. It was just a word that really stuck out to me. So as the years progressed, and after I finally graduated school, I figured I'd take up the alias just to make a name for myself as an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, his artwork is so dope, and I'm just wondering, at what age did you start draw? When did you know I have a talent for this? When did you know I should make this into something?
That's kind of what my journey has been about, just making something that started off so practical and something that was a hobby, and just transferring it into something like so much more significant. It started when I was younger. My dad, he had been incarcerated, and our only forms of communication was letters. So one thing that kept us intertwined was drawings. We used to make our own superheroes and everything like that, but something like that really unlocked my imagination at a young age, and it was something that I really clung close to. And as the years progressed, I started taking an interest in different types of art, sculptures, drawings, paintings, and everything. But yeah, it started around the time I was probably 6 years old.
That's crazy. Who knew you'd be here
right
now?
Exactly.
Doing this. So who are some of your biggest art inspirations? Your favorite artists, I should say.
I'd say as far as graphic artists, I'd say Roy Lichtenstein. He's one of the best pop artists out. I'd say Claude Monet would be a good classical artist that I look up to. And the list really goes on, but those two, just because of their style, you can tell their style out of everything. And of course, the ones we all know, like Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, people like that, I really look up to, and it motivates me to make my own style that people can recognize without even telling them.
Yeah, you definitely have your own style. Definitely, it's dope. So what inspires your artwork? Whether it be music or anything in pop culture or clothes or anything?
Numerous things. Life in general, just things I go through on a daily basis, the emotions that I'm feeling at a certain time. Maybe I'm feeling depressed, and I feel like I need to paint something that reflects that emotion. So I'll do that. Other times it'll be just out of leisure. I'll take a Friday night just to kick back, get a glass of wine, turn some Erykah Badu on, just chill. Just be a real smooth setting where I can just relax, focus on the canvas for
I see your Instagram. It's real relaxing. It's real chill.
It is.
So what's your favorite art medium?
That's a good question. I'd say out of all of them, because I love every medium that I experiment with, but I'd say spray paint would be up there, just because it's one of the mediums that I've mastered the best. Other mediums, I'd say watercolor, just because it allows you to blend colors more And I made a joke with one of my female friends. I told her, if you can do your own makeup, you can definitely you can definitely paint, because it involves the same amount of concentration and blending. But I'd say if you can do your own makeup,
that's
you make
crazy.
a good artist.
Makeup I like that. I think I could do makeup. I don't think I could paint. That's an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
But so like out of curiosity, with the hats and like the Timbs, when you paint those, what medium is that you use for it?
I started doing shoes and shirts when I was in high school. It was just something that I wanted to see if I could master. So I had to experiment with a lot of different types of mediums for the surface, because people that I looked up to that did that same type of style, I wasn't able to ask them because they had either moved on or got into a new medium. So when I was in high school, I definitely tried mixing paint, regular acrylic paint, with nail polish remover. And what people don't know is that nail polish remover contains a chemical called acetone. So when you mix that with acrylic paint, it acts as a paint thinner. So it makes it less likely to crack when you're working with it. I tried that. I worked on my first pair of shoes. I wore them to school, got good feedback, but it rained that day. And when I was outside, someone pointed at my shoes and said, "Your shoes are bleeding." And I looked down, and the paint was just washing away, and I was like, "Oh." So I did some more research and kept practicing with different mediums, and I found a leather-based paint called Angelus. That's the brand, and it's specific for like clothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so especially leather. When it dries as like it has a rubbery feel, so it doesn't crack or anything. But
wow.
That's what I use now.
You don't think about all that goes into it behind it. You just see like, oh, don't wear it on boots, but it's a lot different.
There's definitely a science to it. You can't just jump into it, because you'll end up just like I did with bleeding shoes.
So here's a question I have for you. If you could do one piece of art, like it could be anything, any medium, for any celebrity, who would the celebrity be, and what would the piece be that you could do?
I'd say the first person I would go to would be Chris Brown. He's definitely showed me a lot of love on Instagram. I think so far he's liked 6 of my pictures, and from following him, I can tell that he's a big supporter in the arts, and he does his own art too. I've seen his murals, and I would like to actually like collab on a mural with him. That would be a big step for me. I would love to do that.
I was looking at some of your hats earlier and thinking I thought he would be is that one of the ones he liked?
Yeah, he liked a few of my hats so far.
Yeah, I was looking at the lean ones, and I was like, I could see him for sure.
Yeah.
So do you have like a favorite piece that you've done already?
That's the thing with me. I have the motivation to make every new piece my favorite one. So like when I put more and more into each piece, the most recent one would be my favorite. But as far as sentimental value, I would say this one right here. I did this painting while my mom was still alive. She passed last year in September. So when she was still alive, it was actually around this time in August. And she came over to my apartment, and she was like, "I want to see you paint." So we got 2 lawn chairs, and we were just chilling, sipping some beers, and she was watching me paint. And believe it or not, I did this whole painting in 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah. So
that is unbelievable.
The first 10 minutes went towards making the planets and sky. And at that point, my mom was hungry, and she went to get some food. So she begged me not to finish it until she got back home. So when she came back, I did the mountains, the whole landscape underneath it. So I titled that one Galactic Lagoon. And she was just so attached to it. So I actually gave it to her for a Christmas present, and she hung it in her house. So this is one of the paintings that are part of my personal collection.
You won't be giving up that anytime soon. I'm sure a lot of people want it, but
yeah, it's tempting to sell it just because it takes up so much space in my house. But
no, that's definitely sentimental value.
Yeah, definitely.
And he does, it's crazy. I've been to one of his art shows, and it is crazy, like, how quick he moves. It's unbelievable. 15 minutes, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why spray painting is like one of my favorite mediums, because I can create a whole bunch of paintings.
So that was a spray paint.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The whole thing was spray paint.
That's crazy. So what advice would you give to anyone who, you know, sees that maybe they have a talent for art, but they're scared or they don't know how to go about starting out? What advice would you give?
I have, the list goes for my advice I can give anybody. My first advice would be just to dive into it, because then when you dive into something, you'll see what you're good at, you'll see where your strengths are, you'll see what your weaknesses are, you'll see what needs fine-tuning. I'd say no one's going to take you serious until you take yourself serious. So
so true.
Exactly. So, and that goes for anything, not just art. Like, if you want to excel at anything, you have to make sure that first you're professional about it, and then second that you have the right amount of passion and drive to make sure that your product is going to be the best product it can be. You can have the best product in the world, but if your marketing isn't on the same level of your product, then you'll fly right under the radar. I learned, you know, sometimes like when I post stuff, maybe I have to tag a few celebrities in it so they'll see it. Mm-hmm. And that's how people like Chris Brown, designer, other people saw my work. And sometimes you gotta reach out to people and you know, can't be afraid to collab with people, because sometimes that's gonna make a beautiful thing. You collab with somebody, you don't know who is on the same frequency as far as like your mind patterns. But as far as anybody trying to excel in the art field, I'd say definitely just go ahead strong. Don't get discouraged. There's gonna be a lot of times when you fall or feel like, there's plenty of times where I log on Facebook or Instagram, I see somebody's painting looks 10 times better than what I could ever do. But you gotta focus on yourself, and you gotta just keep producing work and be prolific.
I can relate to that. I like that. That's dope. So I noticed that you have like a big following. Is that basically how, just reaching out to people and tagging and like?
Yeah, I'd say it started last year. Around December, I reached out to my first like mini celeb, and he actually got back to me, and I offered him my artistic services in exchange for him reposting my work. Wow. So me and my assistant, we actually made something called our hit list, and we just got a list of celebrities that we want to contact on a regular basis until we get a response. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing now, as I keep making work. And it's good to have my assistant because I get to focus on my artwork while he focuses on the reaching out aspect of it.
Right. Yeah, you definitely gotta do that because your talent and your art is way too good to just sit here in Harrisburg. It's gotta go far.
Exactly.
For sure. Where do you see Prolifik ASF in 10 years?
Hopefully, I'll be doing like national, international shows. I wanna definitely take trips to maybe like Spain, France, just like countries where art is, it has more roots. A lot of art is that I've studied is rooted in Europe and in Africa as well. I would like to do like international shows and do a lot of live performances. Mm-hmm. People told me maybe go on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, you need to. I can see that.
I would definitely audition. Right now, though, I'm just getting prepared for that because I don't want something big to just jump in my face and I'm not be prepared for it.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely like where I'm at now. I feel like something may be happening soon, but I'm trying to brace myself for it.
Yeah, you keep making the moves you're making and preparing like you're preparing, and the right time will come and the right opportunity.
Exactly.
Definitely believe in that. But I am so excited to share this with you guys. You definitely need to go to his website. I'll say the fall is coming up. If you want some custom dope Tims, now is the time.
Absolutely.
Hit him up. Dope hats, paintings. What's your info? Where can they get the products? www.prolifikasf.com. There's an inquiry box on the last page on there if you want to
type in your inquiry. It'll go right to my business email. If I don't see it, my assistant surely will, and we'll address it and take it from there. Or you can buy my art directly from prolifikasf.bigcartel.com. Anything that isn't commissioned, I post on there. So the price will be displayed underneath an image of the artwork. So if you feel like buying, you can. You can reach me on Instagram at Prolifik_ASF, Facebook Brian BRYAN, Prolifik Hickman HICKMAN. Watch me do art live on Snapchat at incogb though, INCOGB_THO. I hit it. Twitter at Prolifik_ASF, same as my Instagram. I think I hit all the social media. But yeah, that's an example of trying to market myself.
Follow him on all that. You won't be sorry. You'll be entertained. You have some dope pieces to add to your collection.
Absolutely.
And again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And stay tuned for my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.